I'm not quite sure if this is really necessary. I mean, everyone and their grandmother has seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is sort of my problem to begin with. I never really seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, made for TV edits and in the background at parties, but never have actually seen it from beginning to end. And now I can claim that I have. And two things, actually. Well, actually, the main thing is that the story holds up pretty well, despite the fact that it's dripping in 1980s nostalgia. I mean, you can tell this was made in 1985 with the clothing, the tech, the cars. Well, most of the cars. We'll get to that in a moment. But the story holds up really well. One good thing you can tell about how well a story holds up is even though eons have passed, the story still holds up. And Ferris Bueller's Day Off certainly adheres to that rule. If you look past all of the trimmings of the 1980s, you'll find that it's just a guy trying to have his friend lighten up a little bit and, tell him you live only once. Wait a second. Is this the first YOLO movie? Probably not, but, one can only dream. I'm pretty sure Ferris Bueller wouldn't even dream of endorsing the term YOLO. And I'm pretty sure most of us wanted to be Ferris Bueller, that guy who could get away with murder with a carefree smile and the world in his pocket. Instead, I kind of ended up growing up to be like Cameron, a little bit scared to make my move in the world and afraid of what sort of mistakes I might make if I fail miserably. And watching this kind of has me asking myself, what have I done that's Ferris-worthy? I mean, am I the type of guy that's gonna go off and take a Ferrari GTO? By the way, for those of you who are wondering how rare that GTO is, trust me, it is plenty rare. To put this into context, straight out of the factory, even no two body panels are alike because the entire car was built by hand. Okay, even Top Gear wasn't allowed to drive it. It's that rare and awesome of a car. You're probably better off driving it in Forza. But while we're on the subject of cars, remember that Super Bowl commercial a year or so back where Matthew Broderick did a tribute to Ferris Bueller's Day Off? His chariot of choice, not a Ferrari, but a Honda CR-V. And this had us gearheads up in arms over the whole thing. I mean, come on. Really, Matthew? On your day off for goofing off, you don't pick the Italian sport drop-top sports car. You end up going for a crossover designed in Japan and built in Ohio somewhere. But the more I thought about it, the more the CR-V actually, it kind of sticks with the whole thing of if you don't pay attention to life, it'll pass you by. Now, I detailed cars for a bit, working at a collision center, and every so often we had a Corvette owner come in. Ugh. Mostly for paint. They were always worried about this little scratch, this little buff that was off, and you could only see it in certain angles, and it drove them nuts. And I imagine owning a Ferrari 250 GTO is no different. Meanwhile, the Honda CR-V, it's a crossover. No one cares about it. You could care less if you bump or bang into it or scratch it or your friend throws up in the back. And it actually has a back seat to begin with. You can hold 4 people comfortably as opposed to cramming your friend where your luggage should go. So, good on you, Matthew. You've actually endorsed a car that actually supports the whole motto of the movie, that life moves by pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.